Welcome back to another exciting episode of ISVs on Tap. My name is Josh Kelly. I'm the Business Development Manager here at BlueStar for software. And joining me today is Bish Datta from InThing. Bish, welcome. Thank you for being on the podcast today. And as we get started here, can you give us a little introduction of yourself and InThing and how you guys came together?
Absolutely. Thank you, Josh. Thank you for having me on this episode of ISVs on Tap. My name is Bish Datta, and I'm the Director for Channels and Alliances at InThing Corporation. I'm based in Toronto, Canada, but InThing is a Silicon Valley-based enterprise software company that focuses on solving customers' concerns around frugality, productivity, compliance, loss prevention, etc. And we do that by working with a multitude of technologies, barcode, RFID, ultra-wideband, BLE, etc. And we have 16 off-the-shelf solutions that we support our customers with. And so we work with our customers through the channel, obviously through our channel partners, and make sure that we're able to resolve whatever issues or concerns they have with the technologies that I mentioned.
Perfect. Thank you. So you mentioned a multitude of technologies and you mentioned off the shelf solutions. So based on that information, and we'll expand on that here in just a second. Tell me a little bit about your target markets. What verticals are you playing in, and where you focused right now?
Absolutely. So let me give you a little bit of a background before I get into the verticals that we are working on. In the post COVID era, we have seen that a lot of the offshore operations are actually moving inshore in order to create more resilience within our borders should a COVID like situation arise again. Now, with that, it means that customers are looking for data available at the click of a button rather than it being labor intensive and repetitive, which also makes it very expensive. So that brings us to the first vertical, which is manufacturing. Right, in manufacturing, whether you are looking at tracking the materials, your finished goods, your semi-finished goods, your raw materials, whether you're wanting to track it at the pallet level, your container level, and even at an item level, InThing has an off-the-shelf solution for you. Moving to your shipments, right? Now, we were talking about tracking everything within the warehouse, and now we're talking about shipments when they're leaving the warehouse. How do you ensure that there is zero error in the shipments that that the customer's shipping out? InThing has an absolutely proven success in zero error shipment tracking. Let's move to a more close to home use case where we have incoming packages tracking, right? We know that when a package arrives, because it is so manually done, wherein a package arrives, you put it down on a pen or paper or an Excel sheet or some kind of system, track the barcode, then identify the resource it goes to. It takes 5 to 7 days for the package to actually reach the individual in the organization. You can use an RFID based solution that we offer, and the entire process is so much faster and efficient that you don't have to spend that much labor and time on it. So all of these are some of the manufacturing use cases that we focus on and then we offer. So that's one of the verticals I'd like to speak to. The second vertical I want to speak about is the state local education vertical. Now, why is that? Is because there is $1.3 trillion of Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act that is provided to the state local education vertical for state officials to actually focus now on the asset management operations. So, with that much funds available, this is a low hanging fruit for them to move from a barcode to or a pen and paper to a barcode or an RFID based solution. Whether it is textbooks, whether it is tools, equipments, or anything that is bought with the taxpayers' money, the state officials want to keep a track of that. And so this makes their life so much simpler. Needless to say that in today's very hyper partisan world, the state officials also want to make sure that the election ballots and the voting equipment, as well as the media sticks. All of that is a very clear and automated chain of custody where, it's kind of hands off and the system takes care of it all. So that's the second vertical that we are focused on, which is, state local education. The third vertical, which is, has been a buzz, kind of started the entire RFID tagging buzz, which is the retail industry, where the big box retailers like Walmart, Target, Macy's, they're mandating their suppliers to put an RFID tag on the products that they support. Now, we're not talking about the big box retailers. We're talking about supporting the suppliers who are tagging their items, sorry, but they are not really fully leveraging the benefit of that investment that they are making. We are able to provide them with a solution that reduces the chargebacks that they have to pay and improve their OTIF scores, which is on time in full delivery scores. So we have a solution for that. So in a nutshell, with all the background, etc., manufacturing, slate local education, and retail are the three verticals that we do focus a lot on.
Yeah, right on. So, if I'm just trying to reframe this, what I'm hearing you say is you use a variety of technologies. So, barcode reading, you use RFID. I'm sure there's other items that you use as well to kind of help make incoming shipments, outgoing shipments, asset tracking more efficient in such ways as either making it more efficient or reducing errors. So sometimes,
Absolutely.
like you mentioned, chargebacks. Sometimes with a chargeback, that can be a pretty hefty dollar amount
It
that
is. It
that a
is.
customer doesn't really want to pay for because of whatever, for whatever reason, right? Damaged goods, damaged pallets. It was wet, it was cold, it was whatever. So I think you mentioned sensors as well. So it's important to know that you can. I'm assuming you can put sensors on some of these pallets or some of these shipments to track various things, including temperature, barometric pressure in some cases, or humidity levels, heat, cold, whatever it might be. You can kind of implement those devices as well to help facilitate a better, smoother, more efficient process.
Absolutely, you got that right. Those are the sensors we can work with as well, in addition to the other technologies that I mentioned.
Yeah, right on. And the sled market is a big market, right? That's important. And I know we've had conversations, not necessarily about sled, but about various opportunities that are in the pipeline for you guys. And we're happy to be working with you on those deals as well. So one other question here is: as you're out in the field, what does the ideal reseller look like for you guys? So who would you prefer to work with, and kind of walk us through that?
Absolutely. So let me kind of talk about the resellers that we have in the industry. A lot of the value added resellers do not want to work on RFID projects because they think that's a science project. So they're like, oh my god, I don't understand this technology. The good part is that there are a lot of software companies out there that will collect the raw data from these sensors. They'll give it to the customer in some kind of a database, and the customer will have to interpret that data by doing their own analysis, like pretty much like a traditional water heater, if you will. Cut to come to InThing, and we're like the tankless water heater, where you get the data from the raw sensors. It goes through a series of intelligent algorithms, and then we provide the output to the customer in their preferred system of record, which could be an SAP or WMS, etc. And it's good to go for them. So we are looking for partners who are hungry to bring in that net new business. We're looking for partners who are ready to introduce such technologies to their existing customers if there is a need. And we are looking at VARs who want to not tradition, transition to a SaaS based or a subscription based software. Um, we do have a lot of these VARs out there that we are working with who work with customers that have mission critical operations, but they don't know if they have a partner that can support them. The good thing is that as part of our software is architected such that we can support mission critical operations. Let me give you an example. Let's say we have a partner that's working with a customer that has hundreds of readers that are connected to a middleware. What happens if that middleware crashes or the server on which that middleware is placed that crashes? At that point in time, the customer does look at the partner, the VAR, and says, hey, the system's not working. So we want to assure the VARs out there that if you do have customers like that, fear not. InThing's software architecture is such that we work with two or three nodes on which our software is placed. And if one of those nodes do not work, we have the ability to load balance and provide high availability to your customers, which means that their operations do not go down at all. So, long story short, we're looking at partners who would want to be a part of our extended team, as we would want to be a part of theirs, as we will help them with the entire sales process right from the time they bring the opportunity to the table till such time that it is fully deployed, and we will own the risk of a successful deployment. That's the partner I'm looking for.
Very good. That's very good. I got to say, I really like the tankless water heater analogy. I thought that was
Okay.
great. Yeah. So we were talking about efficiency a little bit earlier. So you have the traditional water tank, which is 40, 50, 80 gallons, whatever it is. And it just continually heats that water, right? Where a tankless water heater only heats the water that's being used at that time. So, and if you translate what you had said earlier to say, hey, we make things more efficient and more streamlined, it's the same thing. I like it. I appreciate it. And
Exactly.
big, and there's a big shock that you want to be an extension or a true partner with our reselling community. So that's that's important, right? It's a two-way street in many cases. You can't have hardware without software and software without hardware. So excellent.
Yes, we are all in a relationship ecosystem, I believe. So we are all an extension of each other's teams. And if you're not, we're not successful.
I agree with that. We all have to row the boat in the same direction, as they say, right? So
Correct.
I do have a public service announcement to make for everybody that's watching today or when this is released. InThing is skewed at BlueStar. So if there is something that resonated with what Bish has said today with you, please reach out to us. I am happy to make introductions to Bish directly via email, phone call, WebEx, whatever the case might be. And you can also order, I think everything. If not, we can get everything loaded up here at BlueStar for you to make a easy, smooth process for your ordering. So there we go. Is that how's that sound, Bish? Is that okay?
That sounds perfect. Absolutely. We are 100% skewed on BlueStar. Josh would be happy to make the introduction, and everything, our software services, the hardware, everything goes on your paper through BlueStar, and fantastic. We're good to go. It's an easy partnership.
We like to keep things streamlined too, Bish. So the customer only sees
Absolutely.
one PO for all your hardware needs at BlueStar plus the software piece, right?
Perfect.
All right, excellent. All right, guys, I know my big head has been blocking out this sign a little bit. The name of the podcast is ISVs on Tap, right there. Shameless plug there, right there. So, what I've done today is I have a beverage. It's getting warmer, but it's a cold beverage. There's my customized Blue Star mug cup. Bish, I will
Hmm.
give one of these to you. Don't give this to Sandy though, even though I do like Sandy, but anyway, so I have the beer that I've chosen today is Moosehead,
Ooh,
and the reason I chose this beer is Bish is in Canada, and Moosehead is one
it's
of the
true.
top Canadian beers, so that's the reason I did that. And it's
That is
a
fantastic.
traditional Canadian lager. It does kind of have that slightly skunky smell that a traditional Canadian lager has, but it does get on very smooth, very smooth. So it's very good. And Bish, what are you having today?
Today's High Energy is sponsored by Jamaican Spicy Ginger Beer. With 18 month in my toe, I can't really enjoy the traditional beer, so ginger beer it is.
Yeah, congrats. I met your 18-year-old, 18-month-old. Sorry.
You did.
Way different, way different. But I did meet your 18-month-old at Fartech this year,
You
and she
did. You did.
is adorable.
She is high energy, keeps me on my toes, so coffee and ginger beer it is.
Well, what do you think? How do you like it so far? How do you like the ginger beer?
It is fantastic. I really like it. It's spicy. It has a little kick to it, and it really keeps me awake. And with the little one, I don't get much sleep, so this is keeping me up and about. This is really cool.
Very good. Well, this is, I'll tell you, this is pretty good. I'd like to, at some point when you're able to have adult beverages again, I'd love to have one in person.
I know. I would too. I would too. Soon. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Bish, thank you. Appreciate you being on today.
Thank you so much for having me again, Josh.